All right, let's give you the 4-1-1 on this battle of 145ers.
Look at the records there, 14-3 right across the board. These guys match up so well. This is going to be a fight that has fireworks.
Here's Michael C. Williams.
For the second fight of the evening here at Bellator 257, we'll stay right here in the featherweight division, scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds. Introducing the blue corner. At 5'8", weighing in 146 pounds even, his professional record, 14 wins, 3 defeats, from Husum, Denmark, presenting Mads Burnell. And across the cage, his adversary, fighting out of the red corner. At 5'10", weighing in 145 3/4 pounds as a professional, he too stands at 14-3. He hails from Manchester, England, Saul the Hangman Rogers. In charge, referee Todd Anderson.
Todd Anderson assigned the task of officiating this featherweight fight between Saul Rogers and number 10 ranked Mads Burnell.
Ready? Ready?
Hey! The bell in round 1, Rogers in the red gloves, Burnell in the blue gloves. Rogers is literally a pain in the neck. All 9 of his submissions have been via form of choke, and he immediately takes the fight to the ground, taking down Burnell in the opening 15 seconds, John.
That is exactly what Saul Rogers wants to do in this fight. It is the question of, he has been in there with submission masters, guys like Ryan Hall. I did that fight, and he just pounded Ryan Hall down. Can he do the same thing to Mads Burnell, who, this guy on his back is incredibly aggressive and just talented.
Rogers was a cast member of the Ultimate Fighter 22, went undefeated but was cut due to visa issues. That's where he defeated Ryan Hall. Looking for that submission early here on Burnell, but Burnell equally proficient in the ground game, although he has been submitted twice.
Beautiful far side underhook to get that reversal by Mads Burnell. He's already passed a half guard. Saul Rogers needs to be very careful about holding onto that head right now. Right now, if he has him in guard position, it's great. When he starts to pass those legs, let go of the head.
The last time Burnell was submitted was via guillotine choke against Arnold Allen. That was in May of 2018 in the octagon, but Burnell here trying to alleviate the pressure, improve his position, and John, it's Rogers' corner telling him to scoot his hips.
Nice, let's get underhook.
Well, he wants to scoot his hips, get himself in a position where he's not allowing Mads to pass. You see, he's controlling that half guard position.
Burnell on a 5-fight win streak. 4 of his previous 5 wins have come inside the distance. Now working from the butterfly hooks is Rogers. Looking for that lift, perhaps. No, but Burnell.
Good extension on that knee shield.
Nice step over by Burnell, but you see that Rogers right away, look at that left leg, brings a knee shield inside to keep those hips back.
Burnell made an auspicious Bellator debut at Bellator 248 last October, defeating Darko Banovic via first round TKO. While Rogers bounced back from being ousted from the featherweight Grand Prix by Daniel Weichel with a rear naked choke victory over RB Mezadov, as the reversal here by Burnell, John.
Well, that was a beautiful take of the back by Mads, but you're seeing that Saul Rogers not settling for the position, rolling his way through, getting up, now is back into the top position. Just outstanding groundwork by both competitors here.
Rogers with his second takedown as we've crossed the midway point of the opening round. And these prelims at Bellator 257 absolutely loaded, a plethora of intriguing matchups.
That far side underhook has been working for Mads. You see, he reached for it again. There's his hand coming up inside of it. Now just going for a butterfly hook. He's looking again. Now goes to the other side with that.
Incredible scrambling.
Beautiful job by Mads Burnell to get himself back to his feet.
And both now are on their feet. Remember, it was Rogers initiating a takedown in the first 15 seconds, just got countered with a straight right by Burnell. Burnell doubling up on the jab, and Rogers with the ankle pick, and that was as telegraphed a takedown attempt as you could see, John.
I'm sure Mads Burnell is going to look back and say, I can't believe I went down on that. But it happens, and I really like what I'm seeing with Mads Burnell as far as he was shooting that jab out. Very nice straight right cross. Both of these guys are just fighting at an incredible pace right now, Morrow.
That was a beautiful lead right uppercut on the inside by Rogers. Oh, that one was perhaps in the combat sports demilitarized zone by Burnell. But
I want you to think about it. This is MMA. It's not boxing. It's not below the belt. It's only in the groin, and that was off to the side. He can hit him there.
And Burnell with the sprawl looking for that
Japanese
necktie. Jalon Bates we saw last week, and of course,
this could be real trouble
for Burnell. He's had 4 of them, John.
You can see the bend of his neck. It is a painful submission. It will also choke you, but he's just putting up with a very painful crank of the neck right now, and he's got himself out.
Under 30 seconds remaining in an entertaining, competitive opening round.
Nice, use that wrist control. Stay on your side, don't let him get you flat.
Burnell, a third-generation wrestler, began training at the age of 6, began boxing at 13, turned his attention to MMA at 16, and now looking to go 2-0 in the Bellator MMA cage. Ends round 1 in top position on Saul Rogers.
Ready? Ready? Fight!
Round number 2 of this featherweight bout here at Mohegan Sun Arena as part of the Bellator 257 prelims begins. Rogers with that lead left hook curling around the high guard of Burnell.
Boy, Burnell really biting on that feint by Rogers, and Rogers took advantage of it.
Back in the middle, Saul. Circle out.
And again, the shot by Rogers, and this time it ends up with Rogers on his back, Burnell in top position, and he telegraphs the shot. He doesn't dress it up.
Yeah, he's not hiding that takedown behind his hands, not making Burnell have to actually start to move himself. He's almost as Josh Thompson likes, he's raw dogging it. You don't want to do that because it's giving your opponent the ability to have a defense against it and actually turn it against you, which you saw Mads Burnell do.
8 of Burnell's 14 wins have come via submission. Talked about him being a BJJ black belt, won the 2014 European No-Gi Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu Championships, but Rogers, again, active from his back.
Keep that posture controlled.
Rogers has improved so much in his ability to be a jiu-jitsu fighter off of his back. Before it was more just guard up, hold on, to slow things down. Now he's actually attacking. He's actually going after things. He's creating situations where Burnell has to defend in the top position. Right now, looking for Kimura.
Brings his head up now, get your underhook.
And you know, we talk about Rogers being a pain in the neck, John. I mean, 5 rear naked chokes, a Darce, an anaconda, an inverted triangle, a north-south choke. If it's a choke, he's done it.
If it's a choke, he's done it. And then in reverse, Mads Burnell, you talk about that pain in the neck. He tried to do it to Saul Rogers in this fight, but
a real pain in the neck.
Worked his way through.
Extend on that knee shield, build your base, let's go. 3 minutes, Saul.
Nice.
And a good pass into side control by Mads Burnell. Has over 3 minutes in which to work.
It's a lot of time, and Saul Rogers has got to figure out a way to slow down Mads Burnell's just systematic progression of jiu-jitsu that he is now starting to take control of the fight with.
Extended on that knee shield.
Nice wrist control by Mads. That's what allowed him to roll it back onto the canvas.
Burnell dropping a couple of piston-like right hand jackhammer rights, feeding Rogers some ground and pound as he tries to move to full mount.
Move your hips away.
Yeah, a lot of people are going to look and say this is mount. It's not. He doesn't have the hips over the hips. He's on top of the legs.
Now riding his back, and again, hammer fist. Peppering Rogers, trying to make life as uncomfortable as possible.
That nice little wrist grab you saw right there as he reached and grabbed the right wrist of Saul Rogers. Smart move by Mads Burnell. It's great control. That's something Ryan Bader loves to do when he gets someone against the fence.
Ryan Bader, the first participant in the World Grand Prix to advance to the semifinals, avenging the loss to Lyoto Machida last week. He's with us tonight. He'll be watching with vested interest As the
Elevate,
quarterfinals
Saul,
continue,
bring him up so you can get your
coming up
windows.
at 9 Eastern, 6
Bring your
Pacific,
left arm
Bellator
inside.
257 on Showtime. Mads Burnell going to work here on Saul Rogers.
Left arm
Beautiful
inside,
shoulder
on
pressure
your
by
side.
Mads Burnell. A lot of
90
people aren't going to
seconds, Saul.
understand how heavy he feels and how much pressure is
Right, his
on the
hands
neck
again.
of Saul Rogers during that
Come on,
little
use that
series.
space. Keep fighting those hands.
Burnell dominating the ground game here in the second stanza. Rogers giving up his back
Back to the
again
fence.
against the
Back to the
fence, though, and
fence.
Burnell continues to try to soften up
Build that
Rogers,
base.
looking for a potential
Line him up, get your
submission.
left elbow
And he's got it in
inside,
right
Saul.
now. He's got that arm in position.
Fight his hands.
He needs to lock it up the right way. He was going
Head
palm to
the mat.
palm.
Head to the mat. Hard,
He can
hard
get
fight.
this right now. That is tight.
And that's it. Mads Burnell records his 9th submission win, improving to 15-3 and 2-0 in Bellator MMA. The number 10 ranked Mads Burnell just submitted Saul Rogers. Rogers tapping out for the 3rd time in his career. And in fact, the last time he was submitted, he didn't get the tap because he went to sleep.
Yeah, he did. And right here, you saw once he got that arm around the neck, he didn't go for the lock. He went palm to palm and squeezed. And it's the ability to press in with the chest, have a big chest to bear, create that squeeze that even though it's not locked, it's so tight, you're either going to have to tap or nap.
Rogers was forced to tap to an arm triangle choke, went to sleep due to a guillotine choke, and now, for the first time, tastes defeat courtesy of a rear naked choke as Mads Burnell, with mad skills, improves to 2-0. Both wins coming inside the distance here at Bellator MMA. Let's go to Michael C. Williams.
Ladies and gentlemen, the tap comes by way of a rear naked choke, officially 4 minutes, 8 seconds into round number 2 by submission. The winner, Mads Burnell.
Let's go to Big John McCarthy.
Oh my Lord, Mads Burnell, that first round had me so excited. You guys were going all over this cage. You locked on a Japanese necktie, which is normally your go-to submission. Did you think you had it?
Yes and no, because when I got a hold of Saul, when he first tried to engage the clinch with me, I was like, holy, this dude is like fighting a rhino or something. And then when I got the Japanese, I could feel that he was smart and his coaches was actually coaching him the correct way to gut it out. So I was like, okay, if I stay here, I'm gonna gas, stay on top, and grind him out.
Well, let's get to that next round because you go and that finish, you go to this back, you then loop the arm. Did you even think about going to the lock, or you said, no, I'm going palm to palm with that choke?
I think I thought about doing the lock, but I think with MMA gloves, it's super hard to get behind the neck, so just palm to palm. And I felt that I could feel him like slowing down his pace. And that was actually the game plan this whole camp, because he's a physical specimen. So it would be like, put the pace on him, be on him, make him do all the work, and when he's ready for the pick-in, that's when we take him.
Well, I'll tell you what, that's two fantastic finishes in a row. That was an unbelievable fight. Congratulations on a big-time victory. 2-0. Who do you want next?
I know the guy is sick right now, but Daniel Weichel, with all respect, I hope you come over your COVID situation, and I would like to share the ring with you.
That sounds like a great matchup to me. Ladies and gentlemen, Mads Burnell.